I'm gonna rank every single non-canon devil fruit. That's every devil fruit that was used in filler, movies, video game, and even live action premiere events, which is something that I found out about today. It's almost 50 devil fruits in total, so if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot, and you can just do it. Just do it. Anyway, let's get into the video. All Hunt Grout. And this one's a cool one. It turns his left arm into a giant Zoan monster, like a gorilla, like a red gorilla. But it's only his left arm for some reason. Like, why is it only his left arm? I don't know. As cool as it is, I want to put it in C tier. It's one arm. The next one is Alpaca Chino. Great name, but very weak devil fruit. It's just an alpaca devil fruit. It's weird because it was fed to a cannon. So it's really just like a cannon that can spit cannonballs, which doesn't really add anything to it because that's just what a cannon does. But apparently it can infuse them with hockey though. But we're still gonna put it in B because shooting hockey cannonballs is actually pretty ridiculous. Next we got the candy fruit from the first movie, the first One Piece movie, the one where they race and everything. It's basically just Perospero, but like weaker. And the character was obviously much weaker than Perospero because Perospero is like on an endgame crew. This fruit's okay. I mean, you make yourself candy. It's like a Logia fruit. It might be a Paramecia, but I think it's a Logia fruit. We're gonna put it in A. Next, we got the fence guy. I'm just gonna edit in the names and stuff. But yeah, we got this fence guy. He can make parts of his body into a fence, dodge blunt object attacks to soften blows, and he can also summon fences like out of his fingers and hands based off of what he ate. So if he eats like some metal, then I know, eats metal, right? One Piece. But he can eat metal and then like make metal fences out of his hands. So I'm gonna put it here. You get above the left arm guy because he has one arm. That's cool. He's just a guy other than that. So this guy has the hot fruit that does exactly what you think. He can make temperatures hot. But he can make himself very hot as well. Not in that way, in like heat, like temperature, Fahrenheit. And he can shoot steam out of his nose to make himself fly, but also he can use it as a weapon, Attack on Titan type shit. In theory, it should be pretty strong. Like, it's kind of just a better version of the heat fruit that the guy on Big Mom's crew had. I still think this is really strong, and I'm gonna put it right to the top of A. I think it's pretty good. Actually, I'm gonna put it under the candy fruit because I'm pretty sure that's a Logia fruit. The bat fruit, the Bato no Mi. This is the one from one of the video games, the red video game, maybe. I don't know. It's a vampire fruit. It's exactly what you would expect. First off, it can fly. Useful. He can teleport between these like dark shadows that he creates, which is also very useful. And he has the best ability of his ability set, which is being able to suck the life out of people. It's very similar to how like Big Mom's fruit acts with being able to take life away from people instead of like putting that life into other people to create homies or like objects to create homies. This guy could just get basically immortality. Flight, immortality, teleportation. I don't think this is an overestimate to give it S tier. Next, we got the Bijo no Mi, which is like holograms. It's basically summoning holograms. We saw it in Stampede movie, One Piece Stampede. It seems pretty mid. It doesn't really have a lot of like usability, offensively, defensively, maneuverability. Like, it's not really a combat fruit. It's kind of just like a whoa, look, fireworks. I'm gonna put it in D. Here we have the chain fruit. This is a pretty straightforward fruit. It lets you create chains. Pretty simple. I just think it's a solid fruit in general, I mean, it's offensively and defensively chain user. We've seen chain user in other animes. Like, it's solid. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It doesn't feel like incredible. It definitely isn't as good as like a Logia or like the heat fruit. It's just like a solid all-around options for offense, defense, maneuverability, like I was saying. So I think in combat it's a useful but not like the best thing in the world. Next, we have the cheetah. Cheeky Cheetah. That's actually the name. That's actually the name of the person, Cheeky Cheetah. I hate that, but I like it. Yeah, it's just a cheetah Zoan fruit. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. I'd be insane to not put it above the alpaca fruit, I guess, because it gives you speed, right? Like, it gives you the base Zoan stuff, which is just enhanced speed, enhanced like a stronger body, like all that kind of stuff that a Zoan fruit gives you. So I mean, it's probably the exact same as like Lucci's fruit, but a cheetah instead. So like maybe a little faster instead of a little stronger. This like chameleon devil fruit, it's the copy fruit. And this guy, it's like, I don't know what this came from. This fruit can copy the ability of other devil fruits. Gotta be S tier. It's gotta go to S tier. I know So like, here's the thing, right? Is that copying somebody else's fruit is only gonna give you like the base powers of that fruit. Say you copy Luffy's abilities, you're not gonna just be able to understand how to go gear 4. Like, you're not gonna be able to do that kind of stuff. This would be perfect to put on somebody on Blackbeard's fruit because or Blackbeard's crew, because he just has so many devil fruits on the crew. You can just copy so many crazy abilities at any time. I just think that it'd be a crazy fruit. It has to be S tier. Next, we got Douglas Bullet from Stampede. It can basically break down anything around him, and then like you can mold it. We saw him like turn everything into like this giant suit of like basically a mecha, and that was pretty strong. And then we saw that he was actually an awakened user, which gave him the power to just tsunami over the entirety of the land and destroy everything and absorb it, which was busted. I think I'm gonna put it in S tier. Next, we got Guild Tesora with the gold fruit. Basically gives you the abilities to control gold, have full control over gold. You can use it offensively, defensively, you can make it into armor. But really, like, the coolest thing about it is that you can see or feel anything that is connected to that gold. So what he does is make this giant city of gold, and now he has full eyes and ears over the entirety of the island. And also he can turn himself into this like giant titan of gold. So I think overall there's a very strong fruit, but it does have like some obvious downsides of you have to have the gold. You can't just like create gold. You have to have the gold. Also, if it's touched by seawater, you lose control and you have to touch it again to give it A tier. In fact, I'm going to give it high A tier because I think it's actually a really useful fruit. It's kind of crazy, kind of cracked. Next, we have the smelt fruit. Pretty standard fruit. You can absorb ores, and then like you can either smelt it into anything, like you can effectively create armor and weapons and stuff like that, or you can like throw it as raw ore, and it's kind of like a chemical blast, like a chemical beam, molten ore. It's pretty strong. And then also you can absorb it and create a stronger body. It's probably right there with the heat fruit because it's just like objectively about as strong. I'm gonna move the heat fruit down because these don't feel as good as the other two in A. Api. Cool fruit, lets you speak to animals, but I feel like you probably can't talk to sea kings because, you know, that's like a godly power or whatever. And I feel like this devil fruit can't recreate that. If it can, then I mean, like it probably moves up to like A. Next we have the Tanuki fruit. This is the bat guy, the vampire's sidekick. Well, essentially it's a Tanuki fruit, right? Like you've seen Tanuki in Mario. It works with like leaves. You can turn leaves into anything you've seen, I think. So, you know, we've seen it create clones of admirals, which is cool, but of course they're not going to be nearly as strong. I'm going to put it in C. Next we have this guy, I forget his name, but it's essentially you can like paint anything. You can make clones of other people. They're dummy clones, but they're still clones. And he can make himself invisible and other things invisible. I'll put it in the bottom of B. This is the more fruit. Increase size and speed of things up to 100%, or 100 times. This is a lot better than 100%. And then he'd be throwing shit. He grabs something and then throws something 100 times harder and faster than what somebody would be able to throw that at. So, I mean, I'm just going to put that here. Next, we got the sickle fruit, and this is not that great. I'm not going to overstate how powerful this is because it's just not that great. So I'm going to put it in C because it's just like not very good and doesn't really offer a lot. This one is awful. This turns you into a minecart. This is insane. It's like crazy that this is a fruit. I forget this guy's name, but he's the guy from One Piece Odyssey. This is a cool fruit. He basically is a JoJo's stand and summons 2 giant arms that can then use, you know, attack and defend. It's very strong. I'm going to definitely put it right at the top of B. I think as far as like offense and defense goes, it's better than the couple of like, you know, combat fruits that I put here at the top. The cube guy. This guy has a cube fruit that he can turn anything into a cube. Originally, I put this in D tier, but I guess we'll give it like C tier, maybe B tier. It's pretty destructive. It has some good variants, like there's random cool things it can do. The metal fruit, transform metal. I'll put it here above sickle guy. Actually, I'm gonna put it right there, next to the fence guy. Next, we got the mini no mi, the miniature fruit. It's exactly what you would expect. It turns you into a very small person, but you get to maintain your strength. But it's pretty cool because who actually controls it or who actually has the fruit is a giant. So, you know, they maintain the same giant strength right here. I think it's not as useful as the chains because chains gives you like more versatility. Next, we have Ain. It's a form of the time fruit, essentially. Anything you touch objects, humans, anything like that, it's de-aged 12 years. We saw this in Z in the movie. In the movie, the coolest way we saw it was like turning molten rock into lava, like back into lava. Being able to de-age someone 12 years is scary. I'm gonna put it in A. This is the plant guy that's also from the movie we talked about, Z. He's on the same crew as the time reverse girl. Grow, like instant grow things. This is a cool fruit. It's basically like Usopp's attacks, but like in a devil fruit. We saw him like trap people and stuff like that, so it's useful, but it's not like crazy, but it's useful. I'll put it in C. I think it's probably along the lines of the fence guy. I'll just put it one above because it's a cooler ability because it works with plants instead of fences. I don't know. Now we got the Noko Noko no Mi, the shroom fruit. Wapple's brother had this in the Drum Island revamp movie. This is one of those devil fruits that just does way more than you would expect it to do. It's really good offensively. He can like create clones and just like shoot beams, but he can also like sleep everyone, which is kind of crazy. Like it has mushroom spore weird effects. So I'm gonna put this like, it's not crazy. It's definitely not above B tier. Mythical Zoid model new. It turns you into a giant chimera. We really only got like written words about this fruit, so unfortunately we didn't get to see it animated, but I mean, it makes you a pretty ridiculous monster. I'm just gonna put that in A. I don't even care. A new A is pretty scary. We saw it in Baruto. Next we got this guy, and he's basically like Toby from Naruto, where he can just like pop up and pop in, phase through things, kind of like Mirio from My Hero, but in like a weirder way. I'm putting it in A. It's a valuable fruit. I would want this on my crew for sure. Next we got that paper guy, and we're gonna keep comparing things to Naruto because this is basically Conan's ability, where you can use paper. You can turn into paper, you can send paper places, and you can write on that paper and it can like turn to flames or explode or something. So it's a pretty valuable effect, and also, you know, you can like dodge things very effectively. You can essentially fly, I believe. I think it's a good fruit. I think it's very versatile. I'm gonna put it here. I don't think it's overreacting. This is the pet fruit guy. It's kind of similar to like the Hunter x Hunter ability, the one with that the girl uses in York New arc, where she can like turn people into her slaves essentially. And this is what that does. You can like form collars and put them on people, and then anybody in that collar you can command and they have to do it. But it can affect himself as well. It's a solid fruit for him. I think I'm gonna put it under the Zoans. Next we have the Luck fruit. And this is one of my favorite of the fruits on here. I just think it's really cool, and it was used in a really good way. It can absorb luck from people, and you can disperse luck also to people. So as long as you like can touch people, you can take all of their luck, and you can like make yourself the luckiest person. So you can just like walk around and dodge everything. Kind of similarly exactly to Lucky from Deadpool. If you've seen that, Deadpool 2. I'm gonna put it up here in A because I think essentially it can make you invulnerable as long as you're just like, you know, correctly using it. I'm gonna put it really high under this one. And the gold fruits, man, they're good. The gold fruits are good. Next, we got the Scream fruit, and this is pretty much just like a blast. You can scream, and it shoots a blast. C, because it's out C. It's just a blast. I don't know. It's solid, but like I think anybody can like do stronger attacks than that. Next, we have Uta, cheater fruit. I mean, top of S tier. It's a crazy fruit. We saw it. One Piece film read. Spoiler, is broken. It's like actually ridiculous. It's actually a ridiculous fruit. Anybody that hears your sing goes to your dream world, and you can control everything. Not to mention, while they're asleep, you can control their sleeping bodies. It's broken. It's a broken fruit. We got this guy. It's an eagle fruit. This is a dog. A dog ate this fruit, and it's just a flight. So it's realistically what I would put all of these other Zoans at. Higher than these because it gives you flight. This girl, which is actually a Logia fruit as well. And because of that, I'm going to put it with the candy fruit. Yeah, she has a Logia fruit, but it's kind of unexplained what it is. It's just like mysterious purple liquid, which is like, what is that? Yeah, she can just become like a liquid and you know, not take damage from things. And also one fruit that I didn't see here that I definitely did download an image for. It's the Nemu fruit. And this is actually a seahorse has this. And what it can do is it can hypnotize and paralyze people and take control of people. It's honestly like kind of a broken fruit. Like it's kind of just like a bad version of Uta's fruit because you can like put people into a dream world and then absorb their dreams for power. It's actually kind of broken. This was a game fruit, but then turned into a filler arc as well. I'd probably put it in A tier, to be honest. I'd put it probably right below Ains fruit. Before we get into the next segment of all the live action road shows and premiere event fruits, shout out this guy in this video in particular. It made this whole video a lot easier, and I wouldn't have even known about these live events without it. So yeah, go watch this guy's video. It's really good. Okay, we did it. We made it to the really goofy looking stuff. We have Smash, who has the Zuma Zuma no Mi, and he has a plasma fruit that can create, manipulate, and transform his body into plasma, which to me kind of sounds like a Logia fruit. I mean, that sounds strong. Plasma? Isn't that like hyper intensified, like electric? That's pretty crazy. I'm gonna put that up here at A. Next, we got Buildy with the Kone Kone no Mi. It's a paramecia fruit that transforms individuals into different people, and they gain the abilities of those people, but weakened. I think I'll probably put it right around here with like the invisibility fruit. Okay, next we got Burst, which is the Nito Nito no Mi, and he's basically Bakugo. He claps and it explodes. We've not seen a lot of success with explosion-based attacks like from Devil Fruits. Picks his nose and shoots it guy from Alabasta, or the guy on Dofi's crew that I thought was also like the most fodder character on his crew. Definitely something I'd put in like C tier. We got Bon Bon here with the Hore Hore no Mi, and he can make people fall in love with him, and it fails against anyone that's already in love. So no, I gotta put it in C tier because it's just not gonna work against a lot of people. Next we have Wilder, who's I think a vice admiral. He is the Nepa Nepa no Mi, which is the heat wave fruit. It can essentially just create heat waves. Not very strong, not stronger than this, so we're gonna put it here. The Mono Mono no Mi, Poke has this fruit. He can create clones, weaker clones of people or objects. They keep their abilities, but they are severely weakened. So I'm just gonna pop it right there under this guy. They kind of have the same fruit. Next, we got Bad One Gracie, which has the Ute Ute no Mi, and this is a lame one. He can just turn things into guns. Like, he can just turn objects into guns. Once again, I'm just gonna put it in D. Summoning guns, dude. Guns are shit in anime. Bounty with the Bana Bana no Mi, and it turns jealousy into flames. So if you're jealous, you can shoot little fire blasts. I'm just gonna put this down here in D tier. That sounds so weird. Like, how do you exactly create jealousy? Little circumstances need to activate for this to happen. Here we got Nero with the Fat fruit, or the Pocha Pocha no Mi, and he can control the amounts of body fat in himself and his opponents. He can make his opponents fat. I guess that's cool, but it's not that great. I'm gonna put it in D tier. At the top of D tier, I guess, is better than these guys. And next we have Cardia with the Nibi Nibi no Mi. Reproduce the appearance of the deceased. That's what it can do. This doesn't seem that useful. Once again, it's kind of like the Intimidate thing. It's kind of just like the other ones that makes you look like other people, like just weaker than that. So I'm gonna put it down here. Non-canon fruits are kind of all over the place. It's like the cube fruit, like you just turn things into cubes. Sweet. But there are some really cool ones on this list, like, you know, you have Uta's fruit that's absurdly broken. You have the vampire fruit that is really cool. That's really all I got for the video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel. We got more One Piece stuff coming and a lot of other stuff. Just subscribe to the channel, man. Come on, what are you doing?